Hey guys, October 20th, 2024, and it's chilly out. Anyway, we are doing a couple of things today in the shop, and one of them is for my little business that I've really ignored the entire summer. I've wanted to make a maker's mark, so to speak, and I tried a couple of different ways before I got this fiber laser, and just it was not acceptable. So I almost bought one online. You send them your image of what you want, and for $200 they send you another one. But I found this metal piece at work, which is, believe it or not, it's a brake shoe pivot for air brakes on a school bus. And there's a ton of these lying around because they don't get replaced often and they just get thrown away. So this is really good steel, and I thought I was going to try with a hand engraver. Then I thought, duh, we have a fiber laser. So I made a quick file of something that's acceptable image-wise, text-wise, and I've been engraving this for a while, probably an hour and a half anyway. And right now we are at 958 passes because it's only a 50-watt laser, and I've got the speed slow, so it comes out really crisp. Power's high. The frequency is 40, I believe. Yeah, 40. But the purpose of this video is alignment. I'm going to show you how I finally figured out how to get accurate alignment without having to measure or make a stick or a jig or whatever you'd like to call it. But when this is done engraving, it's probably a third of the way done, so it's going to be a bit yet. I thought that I would show you this, and I really wanted my focus to be accurate because as you go deeper, you start to get out of focus. So I wanted the focus to initially be really accurate, because I don't want to try to adjust the focus while, you know, this burn is going on or this engrave, because just the slightest deviation in the alignment for the workpiece is going to cause a problem for me, and I want this to be as perfect as I can get it. So when this is done and I can move things around and show you how I achieved this pretty darn accurate focus, we'll be back. Alright, so it's been quite a while for me, just a second for y'all, but it's approaching 2,900 passes, and the passes take about 7 seconds each. So I'll do the math real quick and see what this comes out to be. I'm holding out for 3,000 passes, and I think we're going to be good to go, but this has been hours in the making, and I'll show you the result of this when this video is all said and done. Alright, so I was just a little bit off, 2,400 passes at approximately 7 seconds a pass. So I lost track of time. Let us do some quick math with a calculator and figure out how long this took. So it's 2,700 passes times 7 seconds is 18,900 seconds, divided by 60 seconds for a minute is 315 minutes, divided by 60 for an hour. So it took over 5 hours to make this, if my math is right, and I'm not so sure that it is. And just a word of caution, if you don't think these workpieces get hot, they absolutely do. So don't just grab it after a burn like this, because you're going to burn yourself pretty bad. So for the focusing that I do, I'm using a piece of scrap steel here, and we're going to use the focusing method that comes with the laser, the 2 dots, and basically what you do is you crank this down until those 2 dots touch, and you're supposed to be in focus. All right, so now what this video is really about, and it's focus. So if you enable your focus button, there are dots that should appear from your laser, and hopefully y'all can see those red dots. When your laser is in focus, those red dots are basically on top of one another. And I found out that that wasn't the case with mine. So I'm using light burn. So what I did is I just made a circle in light burn. I chose fill. I used very high power, in this case 97, so that it will take a little bit of time for this to work. And I apologize for the fans. So you hit frame and then start. And what you do is you turn your focus handle until you've got the brightest, loudest burn possible. And that's where your good focus is going to be. So mine's about right there. And if I hit my focus laser, you can see that it's not quite in focus. So I'll show you how to fix that on this laser anyway. This is an Omtech Compact 50 watt. So these two brass looking things are where your laser beams come from for your focus. And I learned that these screws here and here, you can loosen them up, I recommend ever so slightly, and you can move these after you do the burn that I just showed you. You can move these while holding your focus button until they overlap, and that's going to give you your best focus. I know a lot of people recommend using a ruler or making a jig that goes from your lens down to your workpiece, but I prefer to just press the focus button and focus it that way. So let me loosen this one up and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so I loosened up this one and you can see that now this moves around. And that's probably a bit too loose, so I'm going to snug it up a little bit. And what you want to do is you want to do your focus. This is a lot harder than I envisioned. And you want to move one of those laser beams until it overlaps, exactly overlaps the other laser beam. And then you should be able to use your manual focus with the laser beams to get extremely close to being in focus. Alright, so now we'll push our little focus button, and you have to kind of be careful that you don't cover up the beam with your finger. And just make sure, like right there. And once you've got that set, tighten down however your little beams are secured, and you should be good to go. So now we're definitely in focus for this, and we're going to run that pass again. So that looks like it worked out pretty well, but just to make sure, we're going to do a quick text and burn that again. We'll make it a bit bigger. All right, let's see if we're still good. And I've got my speed pretty high. So let me lower my speed. But I can tell by how bright that is and the sound that it's making that we're definitely in focus. So, in my opinion, that just makes it so much easier than using the ruler every time. I like to use what the machine came with, and it did come with a ruler, but I like it to be as easy as possible. So guys, enjoy your October 20, 2024, and have a great night. We'll talk. Oh, I almost forgot. We're going to show you the engraving that I did for the Touchmark. All right, so there's two ways you can use this. It looks like this one really came out good. I hope it works as good as it looks. But you can heat this up. You're going to have to get it really hot. And you burn your Touchmark into your workpiece. Or you can do what I'm going to do now. And I have to put a mark on this so I know which way is up and down. But that is basically what I was looking for. And of course you have to get a little bit into it. So yeah, that worked out pretty well. I've got my ring around it, my stars, and the company name. So, a little bit of trial and error, a little bit of work, a little bit of practice, and you should be good to go. Guys, enjoy your night, and we'll talk soon. Take care.